What you're about to witness will shock you to your core. What you're about to hear will make your blood boil. And what WWE just allowed to happen inside that Wargames cage is nothing short of an absolute disgrace to professional wrestling. I'm talking about the most controversial, the most humiliating, and quite frankly, the most disrespectful moment in recent WWE history. And it involves none other than the 16-time world champion, the man who's carried this company on his shoulders for 2 decades, John Cena. But here's where it gets insane, folks. John Cena didn't lose to a legend. He didn't lose to a main eventer. He didn't even lose to someone worthy of tying his boots. No, John Cena was embarrassed, humiliated, and left laying in the center of that ring by Dominik Mysterio. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. Yes, you heard that right. Dirty Dom, the same guy who gets booed out of every arena, the same guy who hides behind his daddy, the same spoiled brat who couldn't lace John Cena's boots on his best day. And now John Cena is demanding a rematch. And trust me when I tell you this, what I'm about to reveal is going to blow the roof off the entire wrestling world. So buckle up, hit that like button right now if you're already fired up, and let's dive into this absolute catastrophe. The unthinkable defeat. Let me take you back to that fateful night. Wargames, the most diabolical structure in all of professional wrestling. 2 rings, 1 cage. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This was supposed to be John Cena's moment to remind the world why he's called the greatest of all time. The Judgment Day thought they had the advantage. They had the numbers. They had the experience working together. But they didn't count on one thing: John Cena. The man who's overcome odds that would crush mere mortals. The man who's won world championships on the grandest stages. The man who never gives up. Or so we thought. Because what happened inside that demonic structure wasn't just a loss. It was a systematic dismantling of everything John Cena represents. And the architect of this destruction? A 26-year-old kid who spends more time taking selfies with his girlfriend than he does in the gym. Here's how it all went down, and I'm warning you right now. If you're a John Cena fan, what I'm about to describe is going to make you want to punch a hole through your screen. The match was absolute chaos from the opening bell. Bodies flying everywhere, steel chairs crashing against flesh, the cage walls being used as weapons of mass destruction. And in the middle of it all was John Cena, doing what he does best, fighting against impossible odds. Cena was on fire. He hit an attitude adjustment on Finn Balor through a table. He locked in the STF on Damian Priest until the man was screaming for mercy. He even managed to throw JD McDonough face first into the cage so hard that the entire structure shook. The crowd was going absolutely insane, chanting "Let's go Cena" so loud that you could probably hear it in the parking lot. This was vintage Cena. This was the Superman we all know and love. This was the man who told us that we could never give up, showing us exactly why he's a living legend. But then everything changed. Dominik Mysterio, who had been getting absolutely destroyed for the majority of the match, who had spent most of his time cowering in the corner like the coward he is, suddenly found an opening. And not through skill, not through talent, not through heart or determination or any of the qualities that real champions possess. No, folks. Dominik Mysterio saw his opportunity when Rhea Ripley interfered in a man's match. She distracted the referee. She grabbed Cena's leg through the cage. And while John Cena was trying to deal with this blatant interference, Dirty Dom grabbed a steel chair. Now, you might be thinking, okay, we've seen this before. Cena's going to duck, hit the attitude adjustment, and pin this punk in the middle of the ring. That's what should have happened. That's what the wrestling gods demanded should happen. But what actually transpired was so shocking, so unbelievable, that even now, days later, I'm still having trouble processing it. The controversial finish. Dominik Mysterio didn't just hit John Cena with that chair, he demolished him, shot after shot after shot. And here's the thing that's making my blood boil as I'm recounting this to you. The referee did nothing, absolutely nothing. Where was the disqualification? Where was the match being thrown out? Where was anyone with any sense of justice or honor stepping in to stop this travesty? But it gets worse, people. So much worse. After the chair shots, after the interference, after every dirty trick in the book had been exhausted, Dominik Mysterio dragged John Cena to the corner, and then, and I can barely bring myself to say this, he climbed to the top rope. He looked out at the crowd with that smug, arrogant, disrespectful smirk on his face, and he pointed at his chest, mocking Eddie Guerrero's legendary frog splash. The audacity, the disrespect, not just to John Cena, but to Eddie Guerrero's legacy, to his father Rey Mysterio, to every single person who's ever stepped foot in a ring with honor. And then he jumped. Frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Dominik Mysterio just pinned John Cena in the middle of the ring at Wargames. The arena went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Grown men in the crowd had their hands on their heads in disbelief. Children were crying. John Cena fans around the world were throwing their remotes at their televisions. This wasn't supposed to happen. This can't happen. John Cena doesn't lose to people like Dominik Mysterio. This is a man who's gone toe-to-toe with The Rock, with Brock Lesnar, with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And you're telling me he lost to a kid whose biggest accomplishment before this was being born to the right father? John Cena's shocking response. Now, if you know anything about John Cena, you know the man is pure class. Even in defeat, he's always been respectful. He shakes hands, he raises his opponent's arm, he acknowledges when someone got the better of him. That's who John Cena is. That's who he's always been. But not this time. What happened after that 3 count is something I never thought I'd see from John Cena in a million years. Cena didn't shake Dominik's hand, he didn't acknowledge the victory. Instead, he rolled out of the ring, grabbed a microphone, and what he said next sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling industry. And I quote, "This is not over. What happened here tonight is a disgrace to everything professional wrestling stands for. Dominik Mysterio, you didn't beat me. You cheated me. You used weapons. You took shortcuts because you knew you couldn't beat me in a fair fight. So I'm calling you out right here, right now. You and me, one-on-one. No Judgment Day, no Rhea Ripley, no weapons, no excuses. Give me my rematch." The crowd erupted. The arena came unglued. Finally, someone was saying what we were all thinking. But here's where this story takes an even more controversial turn, and this is where I need you to pay very close attention, because what I'm about to tell you reveals just how broken the system really is. Dominik Mysterio grabbed his own microphone, and with that same smug, punchable face, he said, and I'm not making this up, "Why would I give you a rematch, old man? I already proved I'm better than you. I beat John Cena at Wargames, something my dad could never do. I'm not giving you anything. You had your chance, and you blew it." Can you believe this, kid? The arrogance, the disrespect, the complete and utter lack of honor. But Cena wasn't backing down. He got right back in that ring, went face to face with Dominik, and said something that made everyone watching lose their minds. You think you're better than me? You think beating me with interference and weapons makes you superior? Then prove it. Prove you can beat me without your little friends. Prove you can beat me without weapons. Prove you're half the man your father is. Or admit what everyone already knows, that you're nothing but a coward hiding behind the Judgment Day. Boom! Shots fired. And Dominik's face? Oh, you should have seen Dominik's face. The color drained right out of it, because John Cena just exposed him for exactly what he is. A fraud, a pretender, someone who's been handed everything and earned nothing.
what this means for WWE. Now, let's take a step back and talk about what this situation reveals about the current state of WWE. Because folks, this goes deeper than just one match. This is about the future of professional wrestling. WWE is clearly pushing Dominik Mysterio as a top heel. They're giving him main event matches. They're putting him in positions to beat legends. But here's the problem with that strategy, and this is where WWE management needs to wake up and smell the coffee. You cannot build a credible heel by having them win through cheap tactics and interference every time. At some point, that heel needs to prove they can actually go in the ring, that they can actually win a fair fight. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Dominik Mysterio has been protected more than Fort Knox. He's been shielded from legitimate competition. He's been handed victories he didn't